The early light filters softly into the dark room. She lies motionless on the bed, her long hair spread across the pillow like a faint shadow of the night. The blanket clings to her body, a silent witness to everything that has happened. Her breathing is slow, shallow, as if her body remembers the pain even in sleep. Her eyes fluttered open, a faint grimace crosses her face as a sting of pain pulses through her body. "That hurts," she whispers weakly, clutching the blanket closer to her chest. The world around her feels unfamiliar, too quiet, too heavy. Outside the door, distant voices murmur. "She woke up already," someone says urgently. Another voice follows, sharper. "So please wake her up. It's been more than an hour. The boss is still waiting for her at the bottom." The words pierce the quiet room, tugging her further into reality. Two maids stand nervously in the hallway, whispering. "Boss's time is very valuable. How can he waste it just because of this woman?" one says with a hint of disdain. The other nods. "You're right." Their words carry a cold distance. She's nothing more than a task to be completed. "Who's that?" she murmurs faintly, hearing the voices outside. Sunlight streams through the window, drawing sharp lines on the floor. The brightness feels almost too harsh, like a reminder that there's no escape from what comes next. She raises a weak hand to her face, rubbing her tired eyes. The morning light spills over her bare shoulders, and the movement, small, fragile, is the first sign to life after a long, heavy night. "You should wake up," one of the maids calls from the doorway, her voice slightly impatient. "Our boss's mood doesn't look good. Don't make him wait too long." Their words are careful, but the pressure behind them is clear. She slowly pushes herself upright, the blanket slipping down slightly as the soft morning light frames her figure. Her movements are heavy, almost hesitant, as though every breath is an effort. Her hand clutches the edge of the blanket tightly against her chest. Her face is pale, her eyes distant. A voice nearby asks, "What's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well? Do you need me to notify the boss and call the doctor for a medical examination?" The maid with the darker hair speaks sharply, her words laced with mockery. "Does she still hurt? Last time she was played by others and now she got hurt all over again. It's funny. Qingmei, ask her to go downstairs. Don't let her keep staying in the boss's room again." Their casual cruelty hangs in the air like a blade. One of the maids lowers her gaze as she polishes a wine glass, her movements calm, but her tone sharp. Her words hang in the air like a blade. Another maid steps forward, placing a gentle hand on the girl's trembling shoulder. Her face tightens with concern as she raises her voice toward the first maid. "Lanhua, don't say such harsh words," she exclaims. The girl's body sways slightly, barely standing, her fingers clutching at the edge of the fabric draped over her. The fabric shifts, and a dark, damp stain spreads across it. The maids freeze, their eyes widening as the reality of what happened becomes visible. The silence in the room grows heavier, pressing down like cold iron. "Oh my, too much blood," the maid whispers, her voice trembling. "I can't believe the boss can torment others like this." Her words break into the stillness, soaked with disbelief and quiet fury. Another maid steps closer, eyes narrowing with a mix of confusion and shock. "Bleed? How was it possible?" she mutters. The question hangs unanswered in the air. The girl turns away from them, clutching the dark fabric around her bruised body. Her long pink hair cascades down her back as she walks toward the window. Her voice is soft but cutting. "Don't say any more. Clean it up." She stands in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. Her voice trembles in her mind, silent but deafening. "I thought I died last night. I didn't expect to still be alive. But now, I no longer have my virginity." Her pale reflection stares back, fragile and hollow. The fabric slips to the floor with a muted sound. Fall down. The cold tiles bite against her feet, pulling her fully back into reality. Water bursts from the shower head, filling the room with steam. She steps under the hot water, letting it stream down her skin. Her body is still and tense, her hand pressed against the wall as if trying to hold herself together. The sound of the water is the only thing that drowns out the echo of last night. Her forehead rests against the cold wall, tears hidden beneath the water. Why did my life turn into this? She thinks, the question looping endlessly in her head, unanswered. Later, wrapped in a soft towel, she moves slowly through the fog-filled bathroom. Her hand brushes against her damp hair, drying it mechanically. Her face is pale, her eyes dulled by exhaustion and silent grief. A slim black laptop sits on the table, its metallic surface reflecting the soft morning light. She stands in front of it in a pale pink dress, her feet frozen. The laptop isn't just an object, it holds something dangerous, something she's determined to face. Her violet eyes sharpen with quiet resolve. Inside her head, a thought forms like a spark. Are all Shansham's photos stored in this laptop? If I can just delete everything. Her heartbeat quickens, not from fear, but from the risk she's about to take. Slowly, she sits down, lifting the laptop lid with careful hands. Her face is calm on the surface, but her pulse drums in her ears. Every movement feels like stepping deeper into something she can't turn away from. The blue login screen flashes to life. Reset your password. She blinks, fingers hovering over the keyboard. For a moment, the simple screen feels like an impenetrable wall. Her fingers move quickly, attempt after attempt. Each time, the same error message glares back at her. Incorrect username or password. The rejection burns a little more with every click of the confirm button. She clenches her jaw, frustration flickering behind her eyes. I really thought too simple, she thinks bitterly. Even if I delete them all, there are duplicates. There will always be another copy somewhere. The weight of that truth settles like cold stone in her chest. For a moment, she just sits there in silence. Her face softens, calm but distant. Her face softens, calm but distant. Her mind is racing, calculating her next move. She can't afford panic, not now. Her hands return to the keyboard. The mouse cord coils against the table as she types deliberately, determined to find a way through this digital fortress. Even if she fails, she refuses to give up without a fight. Morning light streams through the large windows. He sits in the armchair across the room, dressed neatly in a dark suit, reading his newspaper as if the world belongs to him. She stands near the entrance, her hair cascading over her shoulders. Her heart pounds, but she hides it well. She lowers her gaze slightly, whispering her thoughts to herself. Just delete all Shanshan's photos, then the problem between both will be solved. The idea repeats in her head, not as a plan carved in certainty, but as a fragile hope she clings to. Sitting calmly in his armchair, the man held the newspaper loosely in his hands. The sunlight brushed across his sharp features, highlighting the quiet confidence on his face. A small smile played at the corner of his lips as a thought crossed his mind. Didn't expect that this girl was so timid. Yesterday, I'd temporarily lost control. Maybe this scared her. The thought wasn't laced with guilt, only mild surprise and a trace of amusement. The room was wrapped in silence. The sound of porcelain gently clinking against a tray was the only thing that disturbed the still air. The pink-haired girl sat stiffly on the sofa, her hands folded tightly on her lap. A maid knelt by the low table, carefully arranging breakfast. Across the room, the man lowered his newspaper slightly, his cold gaze observing her every move. The paper made a crisp sound as he slowly set it down. His long, pale fingers brushed the edge of the table with calculated leisure. It wasn't a rushed movement, more like a quiet signal that he was ready to speak. "You didn't eat breakfast." His voice carried easily across the room, smooth but edged with mockery. "Could it be that I made you feel full last night, so you can't eat it now?" His tone made her tense. The air thickened, pressing against her chest. A faint smirk curled on his lips as he tilted his head, amusement glinting in his sharp eyes. "She is so weak," he thought, his gaze lingering on the way her fingers twitched nervously. Then his voice dropped, colder and more threatening. "If you still cannot eat food here, then we'll go back to the room, get on the bed, and I'll continue to eat you." The girl stiffened instantly. Her face paled, and her breath caught in her throat. I'll eat," she blurted out, panic pushing the words out of her mouth before she could even think. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the bowl in front of her, gripping it as if it were the only thing she could control in that moment. She lifted the bowl close to her face, the warm scent rising in faint curls of steam. Her pink hair brushed against her cheeks as she tried to steady herself, although her heartbeat thudded violently beneath her skin. Gathering what little courage she had, she finally spoke in a soft but shaken voice. "Mr. Beiming, I gave you what you need, so you should assure me that Shanshan's photos will not leak out." The way she clutched the napkin against her lips betrayed her fear. She wasn't bargaining, she was begging. The empty bowl and half-finished food on the tray sat untouched between them. Her legs were pressed tightly together, her posture small, defensive. She was trying to be composed, but everything about her screamed of someone trapped with no way out. His smile returned, this time sharper, more cruel. He leaned back lazily, his fingers tapping the armrest. "Did I say," he asked, his voice smooth like velvet, but cutting like a blade, "that will help you?" The air in the room thickened as her voice rang out, sharp and trembling. Her long pink hair swayed with the sudden movement, and her eyes, wide and bright with disbelief, fixed on the man across from her. "What do you mean?" she cried out, her voice cracking at the edges. It wasn't just a question, it was a desperate demand for an answer she already feared. She pushed herself up from the sofa, her hands clenched tightly at her sides. The words poured from her trembling lips, each one heavy with anger and humiliation. "Mr. Beiming, you did things that made me become like this. How can you break the promise?" The room seemed to close in around her as her voice echoed, fragile yet filled with fire. A cold, almost amused smile curved on his lips as he lifted his gaze toward her. His voice was low, smooth, like silk wrapping around a knife. "I have never said that I sleep with you one night, then I will help you solve it all." The calmness in his tone made her chest tighten, as if every word was a blow that knocked the air out of her lungs. He leaned back lazily, tilting his head ever so slightly, enjoying the way her composure was crumbling. "Miss Ying Ka," he added, his voice laced with mockery, "I didn't expect your memory ability is really bad." His words weren't just cruel, they were deliberate, each syllable crafted to make her feel powerless. Her fingers curled into a fist so tight that her knuckles turned pale, her entire body trembled with anger and helplessness. "Bei Ming Yi, you do not do too much like that." Her protest cut through the room like a raw, unpolished blade, desperate, furious, and aching. The tension snapped like a whip. She stood tall, shoulders shaking, her hair flowing around her as if caught in an invisible storm. Her eyes blazed with tears she refused to shed. Across from her, he remained seated, relaxed, untouchable, as if her pain was nothing more than background noise. Her rage and his cold indifference collided silently, creating a storm that neither of them voiced aloud.